Welcome to GWM Edenvale. My name is Graham and we're going to go bumper to bumper and everything you need to know on the Haval Jolion Pro. I'm going to walk you through every step on opening the bonnet and having a look underneath. So first, open the door, the most obvious. Then we are going to jump inside the car, and positioned nicely underneath near the footwell is the pull tab. So just one firm pull and the bonnet will open. So now that you've pulled the release handle in the driver's footwell, you're going to come to the front of the car and you want to lift the bonnet a little bit, feel for the latch, which is a small yellow latch here. Get underneath, pull the support little bracket up, and now we are underneath the bonnet on your Haval Jolion Pro. Let's dive into it and have a look at some of the spec. So we're having a look at the Jolion Pro petrol range. So this is the non-hybrid versions. So in the Jolion Pro, you've got 105 kilowatts, 210 Newton meters of torque, mated to a 7-speed DCT gearbox. In the Jolion Pro S, you're looking at 130 kilowatts and 270 Newton meters of torque, mated to the same 7-speed DCT gearbox. Maintenance on a vehicle is extremely important, and one of the key points with that is to check your oil. So let's jump in and check the oil on this Jolion Pro. So you're looking for the dipstick. It's an orange dipstick like that. You want to pull the dipstick out. Then with a clean rag, you just want to wipe it down just so that you don't have any oil on your dipstick. Then put the dipstick back in, pull it out, have a look at the levels, and it should be between the two dots. So anywhere between the two dots, preferably on the higher side, is the correct level. On the Haval Jolion Pro, we use a 5W30 engine oil that is fully synthetic. So if you do need to top up your oil, make sure to use the correct weight of oil, which is a 5W30 full synthetic. Another point that's very important with vehicle maintenance is to always check your water level. So at the front of the vehicle, if you look on the left-hand side, you've got the water reservoir. There are two indications on the reservoir. You've got the minimum line, over here, and you've got the maximum line above that. You always want to make sure that the water level is between the minimum and maximum. A point that's very important is never open this while the vehicle is hot. If you do want to open the reservoir, make sure that the car is cooled down completely, and then there will be no pressure and you can open the water reservoir. So I'll show you, our vehicle is nice and cold. A couple of rotations there. You can feel there's still a little bit of pressure in this one, and then you can have a look inside, and the water level is right on line with the maximum. If you do want to top up the water level, make sure to either use the correct balance of antifreeze and water. And if you do need to top it up with just water, make sure that it is distilled water so that there's no impurities in that water. So when you open the bonnet on your new vehicle or used Haval Jolion, you might see some markings on it. So markings such as these, as well as on the piping over here. You might see some spray like that. So the markings on the different components are during the production of the vehicle, they've been checked. So this means that there's been a manual check where a person has physically had a look, checked that it's done correctly, marked it off, that everything is correct and they're happy with it. With a slight little bit of spray, you might see some spray over here, as well as on top of the shock mounts over there. A lot of this spray is data dots. And what data dots are is they're little micro dots that are in that little spray that's been sprayed on the vehicle. Those dots have a serial number linked to the VIN number on the car. So it helps with protection and safety of vehicles, that if in the case of a vehicle getting stolen and all the VIN numbers are removed, they can still check on the data dots that that is that specific vehicle and linked to that VIN number. As well as that kind of spray, they do spray a wax underneath the vehicle So on brand new vehicles, you might get a slight smell of a melting wax or a slight burning smell. That is the wax burning off the underside of the vehicle, and the wax is there to protect the vehicle while transporting it across the sea from any rust or corrosion. So the vehicles are out at sea on a ship for 3 to 6 weeks, and during that period of time, they're exposed to a high salt content in the air on the ships, and this is then to protect your vehicle from rust or any corrosion.